Hello guys and welcome to episode 3 of how to make a game like Valorant in Unity tutorial series. Now in today's episode what we're going to be doing is we're going to be finishing our first gun, which is the classic. And what we're going to be doing today is we're just going to be making first we're going to add some bullet spread, which I promised in the last episode. And what we're also going to do is we're going to be adding some clips so that you can actually reload your gun, and the ability for you to not be able to fire after you've run out of bullets. So first things first, let's get the hardest thing out of the way. Let's make the bullet spread. So how we're going to make bullet spread is that it's actually quite simple. What we're going to be doing is we're just going to be making it so that instead of applying this transform.forward vector 3, we're going to create our own vector 3. Actually, first let's create a new float. So let's just create a float called spread, and this will control the spread of the magnitude of our spread of our gun, and this will obviously be customizable with every different gun that we will have. But for our spread, what we can do is we can say we can create a new vector 3. So we can say vector 3 temp or new vector force is going to be equal to new vector 3, and this new vector 3 is going to be transform.forward.x. Now if you didn't know, this vector 3 force is actually obviously a vector 3, which is why it has an x and a y and a z value. So for our x value, we'll just do transform.forward.x plus a random number, so random.range between negative spread and positive spread. And basically this will just add a little tiny amount depending on what our spread is, and it's always going to be adding a random number between our negative of our spread and a positive of our spread, which means that our spread can go both ways on the x-axis. And then we can just go again here and say transform.forward.y plus random.range negative spread positive spread, and then we can just do at the last one transform.forward.z plus random.range negative spread positive spread. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And now instead of doing just transform.forward, we can replace this with the new vector force, and we're just going to obviously still multiply it by the bullet speed. But now if we go back into Unity, we can actually just set our spread to be something like a small number like 0.1, and we can press play and we can see how our spread works in game. So let me just come in here, and you can see if I'm clicking, I'm aiming in the same spot, but my bullets are going everywhere now. But this spread is obviously more than the spread that we actually want from the classic. So what we can do is we can make this something smaller like 0.02. And let's press play again, and we can test our spread out. And yeah, I think that bullet spread is pretty accurate for what we see with the classic in Valorant. So yeah, I think this is pretty much we're pretty much done with our spread. Now what else we're gonna need to do is other than the reloading, is we're also gonna be making our alt fire. So what we can do is we can come here and we can have another else if statement here, where we type input.getKeyDown, and for this is going to be the alt fire. So we're just going to be making our classic right click, and basically what we're going to do is we're just going to copy all of this. But actually, you know what? Let's create a new function called shoot, or instantiate, or let's call it make bullet. And basically this new function will make our bullets for us, so we can, instead of having to do all of this, we can just type in the make bullet function, and that's simpler. This way we don't have to copy that block of code 3 times for our alt fire. But in case you've never played Valorant before, in Valorant the classic kind of shoots 3 bullets when you right click with it, which is what we're doing here. And we forgot to set our alt fire button, so let's just set that real quick right here. No, keep at 9. It should be, right mouse button. which is going to be, if I can find it, mouse 1. Yep. And this will essentially instantiate 3 bullets that should have different spreads. So you can see here that our 3 bullets are actually getting destroyed at the very start. And what we can do to make them, not get destroyed is we can actually, first of all, we can actually just make the bullets smaller, because they're actually colliding with each other, which destroys it, because over here we have a destroy statement. But something else that we can do is we can just say if collision dot tag or dot game object dot tag is equal to bullet, then we will destroy. Actually, sorry, if it is not equal to bullet, so we can actually just add an exclamation mark here in front of our statement, and this way we tell it that only run this when this is not true. And yeah, so now if they actually collide with each other, they will not they should not actually destroy themselves. So what we also need to do now is we have to go into our prefabs, and we actually have to come in here and change the tag, and we can add a new tag, and we call this bullet, and we'll set our bullet prefab to be the new bullet tag. This way it fits the criteria here that we made for it to not be destroyed. So now if we press play and we right click, you can see we have our classic right click. And there's like different bullet spreads. Sometimes the bullets go to the left, sometimes the bullets go to the right. And yeah, so this is pretty much it for making our classic. So as far as basic functionality with the bullet spread and the firing, obviously we will tweak the values in a later episode to make sure that our classic is actually behaving like a classic in Valorant. This way we can make it as similar to Valorant as possible. But essentially what we're going to do now is we're going to create 2 floats. So one float is going to be our curve bullets amount, and our next float is going to be total bullet amount. And these 2 floats are essentially going to store how many bullets are in our current clip and how many clips / bullets that we have in total. And we're just going to on void start. Actually, sorry, we should actually also make a 3rd float. So our 3rd float will actually be max clip, and this will actually just store how many bullets are allowed in a single clip. And what we're gonna set first is we're gonna set curve bullet to be equal to max clip. So when we first start the game, what's gonna happen is that, unless you don't want to, but for Valorant at least, when you spawn into a match or a round, your current bullet amount is always equal to the maximum clip that you have. And we should be able to see this in game. So if we actually go to the classic, the max amount of bullets for a classic to have is around 12, and for total bullets, I believe the classic starts with 48. I might be wrong though. Oh wait, no, I think it starts with 36 and as well as 12 in its current clip. And if we press play, yeah, so you can see that we have our current bullets will be set to the max clip as soon as we start the game. Actually, this should be equal to 48, and I'll tell you guys why in a second. Actually, no, sorry, it should be 36. My bad. But anyways, what we're gonna do now is we're going to say inside, we're gonna actually wrap everything here inside void update in another if statement, and what we're gonna say is we're gonna say if current bullets are greater than or equal, or sorry, just greater than 0. And the reason we're gonna wrap everything around that if statement is because we want to make sure that we can only fire a gun when we actually have bullets. And over here we're gonna make it so that every time we shoot, we're gonna set current bullet amount to be equal to 1 less than it originally was, which is why we're doing minus minus. But now if we press play, you can see that our max clip will be 12, and we fire, it'll go down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and now we can't actually fire anymore. And this also works with their alt click because of the function. So now if we actually alt click, it'll deplete our bullet amount in groups of 3, and now we cannot fire anymore. Yeah, so basically now what we can do is we can make a reload function. So let me just come in here, and we're going to create a new function, but instead of a normal function, we're actually going to create an IE numerator, and this is going to be a reload function. And what an IE numerator is that it allows us to create wait seconds to wait within the function, so that way we can wait for an action to complete before we finish another action. So what we're essentially going to do for now is we're just going to make it so that when you are reloading, you are not allowed to fire, and after you are done reloading, after X amount of seconds, you will be able to have a full clip again, with the cost of it depleting your total bullet amount. So we're actually going to create two new floats here. We're going to create one float for our reload time. Actually, no, we're just going to create one float for now, and we're going to create a new bool, however, called is reloading. And this is just essentially going to tell our player, our script, whether or not we are reloading. And what we can say here is and not is reloading, so that we can only fire our gun when we are not reloading. So we're gonna have here a yield, something called yield return new wait for seconds, and this will essentially make it so that we will wait for X amount of seconds before we complete another action. And we're just gonna pass in our reload time. Oops. And when we do run the function, at first we will set is reloading to be equal to true, and then once we are done waiting, we will set is reloading to be equal to false. And after we are done our reload, what we will do is we're going to set our current bullets to be equal to max clip, and actually we're going to set total bullets to be minus to be subtracted by our max clip. But you might be wondering what happens if we only have like 5 bullets left and we actually can't fill a clip. Well, then we're just going to create an if statement here, asking our script whether our total bullets is greater or equal to our max clip, and if it is, then we are going to run this code. Else, then what we're going to do is we're going to set current bullets to be equal to current bullets is going to be equal to total bullets, and then we're actually going to set total bullets to be equal to 0. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And now if we go into void update, we can create a new if statement, and what we can say here is we can say if, and actually we will need to actually create a new key code here for our reload, because we're going to need a reload button now. But what we can say here is essentially if we're going to get the input of our reload. If we do reload, oops. Oh, sorry. We actually need to change this name because it conflicts with our function. So reload key. And if we do press on the reload key, we're gonna run the IE numerator with start coroutine reload. And yeah. And we also need another parameter here in our if statement. We have to make sure that total bullets is greater or than 0. This way you can't actually reload if you have 0 bullets left. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So now if we press play, our reload function should be working. So if we press play, we can like right click, and if we reload or press, oh sorry, my bad, we didn't set the reload key, that's why it's not working. here we go. And another thing that I actually forgot to do is we have to make sure that we have actually expended some bullets, so that, you know, so we can do a curve bullet is not equal to max clip check. So this way we know that we don't actually have actually like 12 bullets already, because if we already have a max clip, then there's no point in reloading. So we're going to prevent the player from being able to reload when he or she already has 12 bullets in their gun. So you can see I'm pressing R right now and it's not working because of our check. But if I shoot a bullet and I press R, it's going to reload, and it's been reloaded. And the reason it reloaded so fast is because our reload time is actually 0. So I don't actually know the classic reload time. I'm just going to assume it's 1.5 seconds for now. Again, we'll edit all of our gun values in the future to make it as similar to Valorant as possible. I'm just going to make it 1.95 for now. But I can't reload right now. You know, I shoot a few bullets, I press reload, and after 1.5 seconds, I just got 3 more bullets. And actually, we lost 12 bullets there. And that's not supposed to happen. We're actually subtracting my max clip, but what we should actually be subtracting is max clip from current bullets. And the reason we want to subtract max clip from current bullets is we just want to get the difference of the bullets that need to be filled up. And now we should be able to see that we will actually only lose the amount of bullets that we fired from our gun, from our total bullets after we reload. So I only have 9 bullets now. Total bullets should be equal to 33 after I reload. So I'm going to press the reload button, and boom, it's only 33. And I'm actually just going to try to expend all my bullets. Oh, and you can see I actually went down to -1 there for some reason. Actually, so if I reload one more time, okay, I can't reload. I'm just gonna make this like 5 for now. You can see if I reload, boom, it's equal to 5. It's not gonna be equal to 12. Okay, so I'm gonna alt click again, and okay, so I see the problem. So there's no check here that determines whether or not we can actually use our alt fire, because what's happening is technically we do have more than 1 bullet here, but our alt fire expends 3 bullets. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just say here for and we're just gonna create a for loop. So we can just create a for, and we can just say less than, if I is less than current bullets, I plus plus, we're going to just run our make bullets function. So basically, essentially what this is going to do is that it's just going to alt fire, but for the remainder of our bullets. And actually, this will not actually work, I just realized, because if we actually have more than 3 bullets, then this will actually just run through the whole clip, which we don't want. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to say if curve bullets is less than or equal to 3, then we're just going to do this. Else, we're just going to do make bullets 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. Whoops, 3. There we go. I'm just gonna remove that. And yeah. So now if we press play, let me just clear the console real quick. So now if we press play, we can fire. There we go. Or alt click. And now if I alt click, it only shoot 1 bullet. And if I actually just put 2 bullets here really quickly, oops. Actually, you know what? I'll put 3 bullets in. Okay, so now if I right click, it'll only shoot 2 bullets. Or never mind, it will not. Let me see why. Okay, so it should be less than or equal to curve bullet, not less than curve bullet. Because if it's less than current bullet, because we only have 2 bullets, the function will only run once. So I'm just gonna shoot my bullets until I only have 2. So there, I only have 2. Now it'll fire 2 bullets instead of 3. So yeah, we pretty much made a reload function for our bullet, as well, or for our gun, as well as making some bullet spread and our alt fire for our classic. In the next episode, we're going to be working on some UI and some reload animations. So stay tuned for that, and also some shoot animations, obviously. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and yeah, bye.